Fingers crossed. Third time is the charm. Let's see. I had to go live again. Let's see. And close. All right. Oh, okay. Maybe this would have been easier on the YouTube channel versus the Facebook. Okay. I've got one. Why? And it still shows slow connection. Hey, you're back. Now, if I could just get you on here with me, it'd be great. I wonder. It's gonna let me go sideways. Nope. It's saying I can't do that. Oh, hey! Fingers crossed. I see you.
Okay, so it had to be on both on phones, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know. Oh, as always, thank you for exploring all this new stuff with me.
I'm going to try to make a little stand here so I don't have to hold the phone and see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, all shaky. Oh, yay! Oh my goodness. Oh, she's gonna be all front and center.
As soon as she hears somebody, not me, talking, she's like, oh, friend.
Ah, yes. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Oh, let me move on this. There we go. Okay. Yay! Well, thank you so much. Your day off and you are spending it here.
Hey, this is fun. If not, I have to clean the house. So.
Oh, good. I'll be your distraction. Awesome. If you see me looking over, I have my notes because scatterbrained rambleness will happen. But thank you so much for being here with me today. Oh, and I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this for weeks now. I still can't believe it's been 5 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So, and I was like, well, if I'm going to interview somebody, why not somebody who's had, 5 sessions already? I know each session was different, but do you have a favorite one?
Either the second one, that was the live session, or the waterfall. I flip-flop back and forth every time I think about them because the second session, like you picked everything. You were like, hey, I have ideas. And I was like, okay, cool. But then the waterfall, you were like, I have ideas, but we're going to be outside. And I was like, let's go. So it varies from day to day, but the second one has one of my absolute favorite pictures with the white shirt and the silhouette. So it depends on which picture I'm looking at.
Ah, yes, I completely understand. So I'm guessing it's easier when I'm just like, here, I have all these details in place. You just come in and we'll make it happen.
A little bit, yeah, because I mean, I had no idea coming in or anything, so it was like I am in your capable hands. This is your show. I am just the puppet. So it was a weird kind of like letting go experiment for me because I'm very much the person that usually has the ideas, has the train of thought of this is what we're going to do, this is how things are going to go. And it was like, nope, we're going to let somebody else. Like there was multiple sessions where it was like, I'm not even picking my clothes. So
Oh man, well, awesome. Yay. I love being able to do that too. And just run with it. Then all the, creativity is just going. So it's perfect. Oh, and so from the first session, what was your initial why for why you wanted to have a session?
I wanted to do something that was kind of wild and different. I was working full time, in school full time, in a relationship that was what I needed at that time. And I was in therapy and I was trying to reconnect to that wild child part of myself that didn't listen to anybody and didn't care what the rules were. And I was like, okay, what's something that I would normally never do in 100 years? And then I was like, hey, a friend of mine is real good friends with a boudoir photographer. So I was like, okay, that's something drastically different. So I looked around for a couple weeks and then I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's maybe go to a place where like I'm not going to run into anybody and I'm not going to see people that I know because I don't know anybody in Burlington. And I mean, I've been back five times, so it's so much fun. And it was definitely kind of stepping outside my comfort zone that little bit, but it was just so much fun and so different and completely unexpected.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's, even if you think you know what's going on, what's going to happen, especially for the first session, like it ends up being, I'm sure, different. Oh, yeah. Well, and the fact that you've always on the outside, it seems very gracefully, you've leaned into the whole process, which is really, really nice. And I know how uncomfortable that can be. So thank you so much for trusting me with all of that every single time and just going for it. Oh, I can't tell you how thankful I am for you.
Well,
um,
when you're trying to do something like this with someone like you that has the experience and has just all of the things covered. Like I remember coming in and you were like, okay, I have water, I have wipes, I have tissues, and I'm like, you start rattling off all these extra things, and I'm like, she's covered everything but the sink, and you're like, oh yeah, and the bathroom's right there, and I was like, okay, there's the sink,
yeah,
so we're good.
I got it. I got the sink too. Oh, that's what I love. I mean, that's, obviously I'm here for all the things, but I'm here to handle all the things. So I'm glad that that's comforting. So and do you remember how you felt during your first session?
It felt a little weird, like when I first came in, because I was like, okay, she's real bubbly, she's excited, like this is cool, like she's in a good mood, so that's good. Because like I'd hate to somebody be having one of their depression days, and that would have been weird. And I remember sitting when we were doing hair and makeup, and it was like, okay, I'm starting to sweat a little bit because like now I'm basically going to be naked in front of this person I have never met before in my entire life. What am I doing? But we kept talking and just kind of like easing into, and it felt like we'd been friends for years, like just sitting there talking and everything. So by the time that we started actually like, okay, you're gonna put on this skimpy piece of clothing that barely covers anything, and you're gonna lay down and I'm gonna take pictures, and it was like, all right, well, I'm here and I pay for it, so let's go.
Yep, and that's usually how that ends up happening. Oh, that's why I have the extra fan, because I'm like, I know sitting there in hair and makeup and the thoughts are just running rampant. Oh man. But um and it's so interesting because I don't remember getting that feel from you at all. I'm sure you were just like screaming in your head, but I never got that at all.
I'm usually very committed, so I had a whole lot of thoughts on the way there, and I was like, man, I can turn around. I don't have to go do that. Like this is kind of weird, but okay. Like nope. this costs money. I'm doing this regardless. And then like I'm very much I committed to the thing. I'm gonna finish the thing even if I don't like it. But like 5 minutes in, there was no if I don't like it anymore. It was all just this is gonna be cool.
Yes. Oh, and after after doing this several different times, do you have a favorite part of the experience?
I don't know that I can say I have one favorite part, because there's been something with all 5 sessions. The first time it was just kind of sitting and talking kind of deal. The second time it was really like sitting down and catching up with somebody that you haven't seen for a little while, but has been your friend for years. They're always in your corner. The As far as funny moments go, I think my top two are me magically pulling a bowling ball out for the Halloween shoot to hold the changing station in place. Or when the one of the lingerie pieces came off the hanger and I also started to fall and I was like, I'm being attacked by lace. And you're like, oh no.
Where else can you say that though? Like, where else does that happen? Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. I completely forgot about the bowling ball part. That was perfect.
It's like, man, I wish we had a way to weight this down. I should have brought the tent stakes to put in the corners. I'm like, wait,
The
I have
way
a bowling ball.
got it.
Why do you have a bowling ball? Don't ask questions.
Oh, oh man. Oh. Um, and so what surprised you the most about any of your sessions?
How easy it was. Now, I'm not exactly accustomed to pointing my toes all the time, so I do need that constant reminder. But it was so easy to just kind of let go and be in that moment to experience that thing. Um, you know, trying something new is always kind of scary for most people, even if it's something that they're really excited for. But there's always a moment in all the sessions that I've done where it's like everything clicks and it is just smooth as butter the whole time.
Oh, oh, that's wonderful. And obviously, I can't remember every single piece, but I remember feeling like as soon as those moments happened, as soon as the switches happened, like, oh, okay, wonderful. We're just sailing now. Oh man. And let's see. So what ended up why'd you come back for more?
It's fun, and it's kind of addictive. Like it's great being in the studio with you. You are hilarious and easy to talk to, and it's entertaining. Again, like catching up with an old friend. But then the flip side, whenever you walk down the stairs and you try not to creak on that second or third stair that's really bad, but you walk back down the stairs and you go back by the ice cream place to go to whichever side that you parked, and you walk out and you're like, I am a total badass. Like you just walk around with this whole feeling like nothing's going to be in your way. If anybody tries anything, you can curb stomp them in heels if you want. It's a whole new attitude, and even if it only lasts for that afternoon or for the rest of that week, you can still look back on that and be like, man, that was awesome.
Yes, yes, I love it. Oh man. I'm gonna have to write that down after this. Oh, oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for that. um, let's see. Oh, now I know you mentioned the silhouette picture with the button-down white shirt, which always a favorite, always. Do you have a favorite outfit from any of your sessions?
Um, I think my favorite outfit was, I think they were both from the second session from the live, the one that had the skulls in the lace. Because I remember looking at that going, Kayla, there's straps. I don't do straps. I can't get into this. And you were like, yes, you can. I promise. It will be fine. And I was like, okay. And every time I've gone to look for that piece, it's sold out. Every time. It makes me so distraught because I'm like, oh, I want that so bad. And then the other black with the zipper, so simple, but yet that zipper gives that little bit of to it that just and I do actually have that one.
Oh,
I've actually
really?
and I've spent a lot of money on Zandy or Yandy now and going through looking for things because I'm like, ooh, this is from the studio. This was in the studio. Ooh, that would look really good in the studio. Let's get that one.
Yes. Oh, so we're planning on more. I love it. We're perfect. Oh, yeah, that, and I can't tell you how many times the zipper piece has, it's definitely a favorite. And there are a lot of times where I have people come in and they specifically ask for that one. And then it's funny because every time I bring out the other one with the skulls, it's it's funny because I still get, they're still hesitant. And I'm like, it's okay, just trust it. Just try it on. If you're not feeling it after you actually see it on, then we'll go somewhere else. We'll pick out something else. um, awesome. Yeah, I have to say, I those are some of my favorite ones too. Definitely. Oh man. Um, so and this is a deeper question. But have your experiences impacted your confidence and your healing journey at all?
Absolutely. Like I said before, when I booked my first session, I was in therapy and had actually, like 2 months prior, had gone through like a major revelation, like had a full breakdown at work. Like one of my bosses is like, "You need to talk to someone," and I'm like, "I'm working on it. I will bring this up whenever I go next week." And it's not something I'm going to share a lot of detail about here because trigger warnings, but it was a lot to deal with. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to do something that was drastically different because it was like, okay, I need something to snap my brain out of this process of just reliving it and going back through it all the time. And it is something that I'm always going to carry with me, but going and kind of making my brain do a reset in some way with something that was wild and different kind of helped to reshift my brain into this happened. You're going to deal with it. You're going to have it the rest of your life. But look at what else you can do. Look at other things that are going to impact you. Look at the other ways that you can celebrate who you are and how far you've come. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And so there's always been a moment um, with the other 4 sessions after that, when I'm on my way to the studio, where I think about the trauma, I think about what happened, and I'm like, I'm a badass. I got through that, and this is how I'm going to celebrate me. This is how I get to keep saying, you're still here, and that's the most important part. You do whatever it is that makes you feel good. You have earned this.
Ooh, that hits that hits hard. Oh, well, I don't think I can commend you enough on all the work that you've done and getting through that. And I mean, just working so hard through it, and then also on top of that, being like, I need to do something different. Like, just that's so much. Well, thank you. Thank you for, you know, allowing me to even be the smallest part that I have been in it. That's amazing. Um, oh wow, that was deep.
You can't start crying because if you start crying, I'm going to start crying, and
I
then we have to
know.
start laughing, and we're going to keep
Yeah,
crying.
I did not prepare with tissues today. Oh, um, oh, that's amazing. Thank you also for sharing and being that open. I appreciate that. Um, so, um, how would you describe the transformation that you felt from the time that you walked into the studio to the time that you saw your images at your reveal?
Um, well, like I said, the first time was definitely more of that healing. I think I did actually cry a little bit in that first reveal
Same.
because it was just like, wow. Like I knew there was going to be some good stuff kind of deal. But it, you know, kind of letting go of some of the other, and then also just like the normal ridiculous things that our brains tell us, like, oh, you need to lose 20 pounds, or oh, you know, your toe looks funny, or all of this. Because I remember it in the details of like how to dress and what to wear and everything. Like you have had a part on there about like not wearing neon colored nail polish or anything. And I'm like, well, I just got these done, so we're gonna have neon. Oh
Yep.
well. But it all ended up looking so good. And then the second session, I had actually lost a little bit of weight before the second session. So it just kind of reinforced that whole like, yeah, like this is fun. I look good. This is great. Um, I think the reveal after the Halloween session was probably my favorite reveal though, because there was so much from both of us where it was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna try it, and
Yep.
we'll see what works. She's like, if not, you're still gonna have some cool photos of something, and I'm like, cool. Um, except for the one where you're like, no, I'm not gonna let you have the picture where it looks like the smoke's coming out of your butt because I'd put the purple behind me.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's my favorite. The smoke looked the best on that one.
Yeah. No, I'm also here to protect you from yourself.
But it like every time there's the familiar feeling of, oh, this is so cool and I look so good and all my hair and my makeup was perfect and XYZ, all the superficial kind of compliments that you can give to yourself. But then there's always a new extra piece of like, man, I remember when this happened. I remember this part. I remember feeling so good about this, and it's just adding those little core memories.
We love those. Oh man, yeah. The smoke bombs and everything. That was definitely an experience.
It was so much fun though.
It
And the
was.
purple looked so good for the time of day that we went and everything too. Like it just, wow.
Absolutely beautiful. Oh, again, thank you for that. It's always I've definitely found over the years that when we're both comfortable and just trying all these different ideas and just like I said earlier, letting the creativity flow, that's when all the gorgeousness happens. Oh, it's lovely. um, is and you might have already brought up a few pieces or a few parts, but were there any parts during your session that have really stuck with you?
Um, so there, it's mainly the funny stuff. As far as like the first thing that'll jump out at me. So I remember in our first session, you were like, okay, you're gonna sit on your knees, point your feet and everything, like relax kind of into your ankles, and you're like, all right, you're gonna lean forward, and I'm like, face down, ass up, and you're like, yes, and I'm like, okay. And after that, I think that was that first like real break the ice kind of moment where it was just like, because I cuss and I'm very inappropriate all of the time. And I said it, you laughed, and you were like, okay, cool. We don't have to be like awkward about it either. And I was like, no, we're good.
Yep,
Like,
that's like my people.
it's like, say it. So then like that, and then like when I walked in for the second session, and that's the one we were doing the live with the skulls and everything, you were like, I picked all the things, and I'm like, I hope you know what you're doing. And you're like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. And I'm like, I have absolute trust in you. I'm just saying, okay. Because one of them had the garter belts on it too, and I was like, okay. But as somebody who can't do like the thigh high pantyhose or anything because they never stay in place, I'm like, yeah, that garter's not going to stay. Like, okay. And then like the bowling ball and everything. Like it's the funny pieces each time that really just makes it. And it's usually wildly inappropriate because that's who I am. But we're able to kind of mesh that together. Um, but those are the parts that stand out the most to me. It's fun. It's only going to be as awkward as you want it to be. If you sit here and hyper focus about like, oh, she's going to see that spot on my butt, like, oh, like I need to get that mole removed. it's not even a thing. Not a single word, not a single comment. Like I had a spot. I think I had a bruise. I had a bruise on my leg for one of them, and I was like, please don't let her ask me what happened. Please don't let her, because it was it was embarrassing. The reason that I got the bruise. Not a single word. Not a single word. And almost every shot, like you positioned me and you were in such an angle to where didn't have to worry about going back and touching that up or trying to, magic erase it or anything with your Photoshop because you were like, nope, I got this.
Yep. Yep. And I will say a million times over, I would much rather um have to deal with removing a bruise than a hickey. It's so much easier with a bruise, but it can be done. But yeah, no, bruises happen. I can't tell you how many doorways I've ran into just this week. So, I get it. And I love the fact that, every time we get together, it's like we just fall back into that whole friendship and that catching up. And now we have so many different just inside jokes with each other. And it's lovely. I love it so much. um, um, so, and looking back after all these sessions, um, what what do what meaning do they have for you now?
Now it's kind of my way to check in with myself and remind myself, like, you are capable, you are interrupted. um you are capable, you can see yourself in whatever way that you want to see yourself. And it helps to having the physical reminders, having all this metal wall art that I still have to find homes for, and all these pictures and everything, that it's like it I can't even really describe how it sits with me. It's just, it was this one random thing that I was like, okay, this will be the thing that I'm gonna try. We'll see how it goes. And it's turned into like one of my just favorite ways to practice self-care.
We love that. Oh God, that was so beautifully put. I don't know how you do that. Oh man. I'm glad that they're still reminders for you. Oh man, that's absolutely wonderful. And I love the fact that because you have at least one piece of wall art from every session, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that you have put so much thought into it that you strategically place them in certain areas where you know you're going to see them all the time. Oh, I love that so much. It's actually something that I bring up to all of my clients when we're talking about all of the wall art.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, do you feel like your sessions have really embraced your personality?
Absolutely. The first one, I think at least I can see a difference, and maybe I can see a difference because I can remember what it felt like. But I think that the first one felt more like the dipping toes, kind of getting used to something kind of deal. And then I think by the second session you would put the blue and gold spotted wallpaper up. So it just lended a little bit more to that dramatic, and we used the purple sheets on that one, and it all just kind of kept on, and I was like, okay. And then with the Halloween one, like I was just excited. I was like, "Ooh, spooky season! Let's do it! I'm in." And because I had the black and green, which honestly felt a lot more Slytherin to me, and I am a true and proper Gryffindor. However, it was still cool. And then I think the waterfall kind of leaned the most into my personality, especially especially with the whole you acting like mom and me being the disobedient child, because you were like, be careful. I'm like, I do what I want, as I'm walking around like in a one piece trying to go across there, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like, you're not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yep, that's pretty much how that entire that entire time out in the woods went.
Yep. It was so much fun though, like because we took all that camaraderie between us anyways, and the inappropriate humor and the fun part of your job, and kind of combined all of that. And it was so much fun. The water was cold, but it was so worth it.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Thanks for that
That's the one thing about
torrential
waterfalls.
downpour.
Right. Oh, and that's one thing about waterfalls and moving water. It's not gonna be war, but it was so much fun. I'm like, are you okay? Do you have this? You're like, I got this. It's totally fun.
Yeah, that to me felt more like the 6-year-old in me that was running around, hair matted and possibly no shorts and definitely no shoes. Um, it was just like it was kind of my Pocahontas moment, really, because it was just go out in the woods, go do the thing.
Yes. Oh, God, that was so amazing. Oh man. um. Oh my goodness. I'm getting lost in where I am in my notes. um. Let's see. So, I know we talked about how this whole experience can be much different than what you think it is in the first place. But are there any ways where you think this whole experience session, everything is different from what people may think about it already?
Oh, absolutely. Um, there initially, whenever I was first looking at it myself, I was just like, okay, it's putting on skimpy lingerie and taking pictures. Like, you get some pose coaching. Hopefully, that's better than what the photo center at Sears used to be. Um, but it was, when I said something to a coworker about coming up there, and she was like, "What? You're gonna go do that?" I was like, "Yeah." And I told her, like, because for my first session, I think it was a muse call. Um, but
Yeah.
had to do the full release and everything. That way I could get that fancy discounted rate and everything. And because I was like, might as well, like, this is the cheapest it's ever going to be, and like, I don't have anything on my body besides my face that would identify me and connect me to work in any way. Since I'm in the public sector, it was like, we have to be careful. But there was nothing that initial thought of it's like, okay, I'm gonna go take some pictures and we'll just see what happens. Uh, and my experience with you was well beyond just putting on lingerie and getting my hair and makeup done and taking pictures. Which, I mean, if that's your goal, that's still great. But why not make sure to look for and find that person that's going to make it a whole experience for you, instead of just saying, okay, you have to be here at 10:30, you need to get dressed as quickly as possible, we start shooting at 10:45, and if you're not ready to go, then that's your time lost. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love being able to personalize all the different details and everything, and just see the personalities that come in, and then just vibe and create a whole tone for the studio with it. Oh, thank you. um, so, oh, huh, another kind of deep question. So, um, is there anything that you can pinpoint that made you feel comfortable and safe during your session? I was going to say in the studio, but we've also been outside the studio a couple of times.
the world is the studio, it's fine. um I don't know that I can necessarily say that there was like one thing. Although the tinting on the window definitely helps, because it was like, oh, there's a whole parking lot back there. You're like, don't worry, it's like the two-way glass. They can't see in. And I was like, cool. And then 2 sessions later, we go tromping around in the woods, so it's fine. Um, but it was more, I think, at least for me, about just making kind of that connection. We told some jokes getting ready, and we're just kind of talking and getting a little background. about each other, and I think that's what made it easier, because like you said a minute ago, like kind of checking that vibe that comes in the studio, and there's definitely like a matching energy kind of deal. So I know that first time I come in, I was much more nervous, and you were like, "It's okay, I'm gonna pick you up. You're here. I'm gonna bring you to here. You're gonna be here by the time we're done." And you can't even see it anymore. I was way over. So it's what's the phrase now? Passing the vibe check, I guess, is more about what makes it feel like that's that comfort level.
Yes, yeah. Oh. And I can always tell when we get to that like comfort safe level, because like the opening up starts to happen. It's so funny because all the time people just start telling me their life story and everything, and which I love. I love hearing the stories. And then they'll always stop and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just like throw all this on you." I'm like, "No, it's okay. You're finally comfortable. You feel safe enough to share with me, and I can always appreciate that." But yeah, and then for last question I have for you is, do you have any words or advice for anyone who is just on the fence? They have been debating on doing something like this, and they just have not, pulled the trigger yet. They haven't jumped in yet.
If you're seeing this now and you're needing that advice, jump. This is your person. This is your place. Kayla is your safety net. She is the amusement park. She is the safety conductor. She is all of the cliche things that you want to try to find to compare her to look out for and guide you on how to do all this. This is your person. If that's your whole goal, is just coming in and, I want to take some badass pictures, done. The portfolio speaks for itself. If it's, I want to try something and I want to do something to kind of take care of myself a little bit more, this person's going to do this for you and give you great advice and give you like a whole thing about how to pamper yourself. Oh, and by the way, whenever you come for your session, here are these other places around town you may want to go. There's an ice cream place that's literally next door to us. Go treat yourself. If it's something that's a little bit heavier, that like me, where you're looking to do something drastically different or find a way to try to start healing yourself, the first step comes from jumping into something. You're always going to be a little bit nervous. You're always going to be a little bit apprehensive. You're not going to know until you try. And if you try and you don't like it, hey, you're still going to get great pictures out of it. You still got your hair and makeup done. You still get to walk around looking like you should be on the red carpet. So why not?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. God, I really, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Oh, um, and also it was nice being able to see you again. I feel like I have not seen you in forever. I was like, I missed her.
Everything has gone crazy. That's so many work hours and trying to move in with boyfriend and
oh goodness. Oh,
yeah,
that's exciting.
yeah. So there's actually a lot more real estate now to try to find homes for all of my beautiful wall art.
Oh, tell him he needs to get in on it too. So, you can both be able to, admire both of you in it too.
Well, that's because I saw something in the group the other day, and it was one of the couple's pictures, and I was like, we're not going to be able to sit like that because he's going to be wildly inappropriate. Like, he's just going to sit there and keep trying to play with my butt. And I'm like, okay, but that's us though, too. So, like, if that ended up being the GIF, like, that would be awesome.
Oh,
That
that'd be
would
perfect.
so be us. I actually,
and I mean,
before.
heaven forbid your partner love your butt. Oh no.
I was actually looking like before we got on here, and I was like, "Oh yeah, she reposted the lingerie quiz," because I did that the one time, and I was like, "Nah." And then that was like the types of pieces that you picked for the live, and I was like, "Okay, cool." But because I saw on there now where it's like trying to find your vibe or find like a couple session, and I was like, maybe I should make him sit down and do this with me and see what happens.
Oh yes. See, that's why I added in the couples too. So because I'm looking to open up my couples way more and add more couples to, the calendar next year. So yeah. That would be amazing. Oh, that'd be so amazing. And I know you say wildly inappropriate, but all I hear is amazing and fun.
Yeah.
So, oh man,
Yeah.
that would be wonderful. And yet again, thank you so much for helping me figure out the whole technology. We finally got it. And just opening up, sharing everything that you have, and just answering these questions, and help, I'm sure, hopefully giving, way more insight than I anticipated, to everyone else. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And as always, I can't wait to see you again. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go so you can have your day back and hopefully rest a bit or go have some fun.
I have to go to Walmart, so we'll see how that goes.
You could people watch. All right. Well, have a good rest of the day, and thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
There we go. Awesome. Yeah. That. Oh, that was amazing. Oh my God. That absolutely incredible. This chair squeaked so much, and that's all I was paying attention to while I was moving. But thank you, Miss E, again for, giving us all the words and knowledge and everything. I'm gonna find it hard to fit out of the doorway now. My ego is just through the roof. But it's really, really so amazing just to hear the snowball effect that all of this has on someone. So thank you for that, and thank you to everyone else that tuned in and watched this video, the one that actually made it. I will make sure it's posted in the group so you can watch back if you need to. But yeah, as always, if you have questions about anything or you want to reach out to me, feel free to. You can message me, you can comment on here, you can email me. I'm available. So, but yeah, so I hope you all have an amazing rest of the week.